It's my belief that a beautiful garden can be a real tonic for the soul. So my team and I are transforming barren plots into beautiful oases for some very special people, whose courage and dedication are an inspiration.
I absolutely love it.
To build them the garden of their dreams. So will it do?
Oh my God, Alan, it's fantastic.
Welcome to Love Your Garden. Today, I'm in leafy Woking, a suburban commuter town in Surrey. One of Woking's newest residents is retired Army Captain John Phillips of the Royal Engineers, a man who served his country at enormous personal cost. John Phillips joined the British Army as a boy of 15 in 1958, serving with the Royal Engineers, where he chose to specialise in the highly dangerous field of bomb disposal. In May 1982, at the age of 38, John and his good friend Jim Prescott were called in to defuse an unexploded bomb on board HMS Antelope during the Falklands conflict.
He and his mate were standing about 3 rooms away from the bomb, and it went off. John's mate was killed, and John was very badly injured.
He was evacuated from the Antelope down to the military hospital in Ajax Bay, where he had his arm amputated at the shoulder.
For his bravery, John was presented with one of the Royal Navy's highest awards, the Distinguished Service Cross. After a lifetime of service to his country, 70-year-old John and his wife Christine have recently moved to be near their eldest daughter in Woking. But their new plot needs a complete overhaul. The couple have always loved their gardens, but with age and injury finally catching up with them, this is a project too far. So I've been asked to help. Oh goodness, yes. There's not a lot here, is there?
There's not.
No, it's very big.
You've got to have a vivid imagination.
I've noticed there's a statue of David over there.
Yes. We're very attached to David.
David, he's in a mess, really. I dropped him when we moved, and he's lost his left arm.
Art mirrors life, doesn't it, in a way?
It's ironic he's lost his left arm, but we thought we'd keep it like that.
Have gardens always been important to you, Christine?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. Somewhere to sit, somewhere to potter.
What's it got to do then, this garden? What's it got to do for you?
We want something that we can enjoy, something with a bit of colour, something we can relax in, have the children round, the family round.
How would it be then if I brought a few mates round and we just had a sort of complete makeover and did what we thought might be quite nice?
Well, this sort of thing happens to other people, Alan. I'm just amazed that we're having it done.
The only way to give these two the garden they deserve is to start from scratch. So I'm sending them to their daughters for a few days. All right. Bye-bye. And summoning the troops. So David Dodd and his team of contractors have their hands full clearing the site, and in more ways than one.
I'm supporting him well.
And to help me create a plan of action, as ever, I'm calling on my trusty lieutenants. Hard landscaping expert David Dominy, landscape gardener Katie Rushworth, and horticulturist Francis Tophill. The plan is that the garden radiates from the central seating area to an outer frame of generous borders. In one corner will be another seating area, and in another, a greenhouse, so the couple can add to the garden after we've gone. But the problem with a 360-degree design is that everything is on show. It has to be a perfect circle. So a basic shape of paving slabs is laid first, then marked out, then cut individually using an angle grinder. And to create a perfect arc, the brick pavers are trimmed and laid by hand. We're using this low-growing box to soften the outline of our seating area and connect with the planting around it. John and Christine's garden is on sandy soil, which is very free draining. So to give the plants a hand, I'm adding organic matter to help retain moisture. Being dwarf box, it doesn't grow terribly high, but then neither does it grow especially wide. So although you can save a bit of money by easing them further apart and having less of them, I wouldn't go much further apart than about 9 inches. And here, to get a pretty instant effect, we're putting them about 3 inches apart in the pot, and that way we'll create this low curb. As a military man, I know that John will appreciate everything looking neat and tidy, and that includes clipping the box, using aluminium edging all round the borders, and taking extra care with the painting of the fence. John and Christine's garden may be a relatively compact plot, but we're giving over an awful lot of it to planting. So when it comes to squeezing in an orchard, we have to think a bit more laterally than literally. This is a pear, this is an apple, and they are espaliers. These layers here, horizontal tiers of branches, and if you look at the tree sideways, you can see it's just on 2 planes. I've prepared the earth down here because against fences and against walls, soil is extremely dry and rather poor, so we've enriched it a bit. And I've now got to take this out of its pot, and hopefully with a thump it will come off, then lowering that into the pre-dug hole. Look at that. Beautifully measured wires. And I'm going to then fill in around here so it's got a really good start in life, and that should give it a really good watering in. I'll then tie in these canes to the wires to hold it in place, and then as this grows, so you can train these laterals, these side shoots out. These are grafted way down there onto dwarfing rootstocks. That keeps them short and stocky and means they carry a lot of fruit in a small space. But there comes a point where when they outgrow the panel you want them to fill, you have to cut the ends off. Just this side of a little shoot like that, which one day will carry fruit. Even though John has the time and skills to look after everything we're putting in his new garden, I don't want it to be back-breaking work, which is why we've given him raised beds for growing an assortment of veg.
With a bed like this, the compost that you fill it with isn't too important, but you will need to feed it quite often, especially things like tomatoes need regular feeding. And what you have to remember is high nitrogen for leafy plants, so lettuces and the kohlrabi here, high potassium for fruits and for flowers actually, and high phosphates if you're growing root vegetables and things like that. So when you're at the garden centre, just look for those things. Otherwise you can just use a manure once a year or twice a year just to top it up and keep the nutrient content high.
You got room for Peter, Francis?
Oh my God! You can't put a rabbit in a vegetable bed.
Can, look at him, do you like him? He's cheeky, isn't he?
Yeah, he's something.
There you go, I've got lots more things to pull out of my hat, Francis.
Oh.
Peter Rabbit aside, we're not planting this garden as quickly as I'd like. There is still so much to do here, and I've got one little niggle. There's a lot in this garden for John, and I'm very concerned there's enough for Christine. This is her garden as well, and we've got to make sure that she's not shortchanged. We're hard at work creating a planting paradise for an unassuming Falklands hero. So Francis is straight on to bringing some dahlias into the garden, starting with tall, colourful honker and Canora Valentine.
Christine loves dahlias, so I've got a lot of them to put in the garden, and as well as being really bright and continuing with the hot theme, they're a really good plant to have for late colour. They'll keep flowering all through the summer until the first frost, as long as you keep deadheading them. And we have one here that's broken. But basically, as soon as the flowers start to go over, you want to cut back, not just below, but all the way to the next node, and you can see the next flower there beginning to form, and that will keep going all through the summer. They have a bit of a bad reputation because they're quite high maintenance. The reason they're a bit hard work is because of these tubers, which you can just see there, just below the surface of the soil. And these are frost tender, so you have to protect them during the winter. In some places in the UK, you might get away with leaving them in the borders, but generally the best thing to do is cut this back, dig them all up, turn them upside down and let all the moisture drain from them, and then store them dry and cool over the winter before replanting them in the spring.
But I also think we need to include something in this garden that commemorates John's remarkable service record. So I've asked David to see what he can find.
John served in the Royal Engineers for over 30 years. So I've come to their museum in Gillingham to meet up with Guy Lucas, John's squadron commander from 1982.
As soon as I heard you were doing this garden for John, I racked my brains to think of something which he would really appreciate and would be symbolic. So I've got a piece of rock, genuine Falklands rock, which I think John would really appreciate.
Serious? That's brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. Can we have a look?
Yep, let's go.
Oh, yes. Once we've transferred it from Guy's car to mine, this quarter-of-a-ton lump of rock is heading to the stonemasons. So Andy, what I'm looking at here is a very special bit of stone straight from the Falklands, and I want to turn this into a feature in the garden, and I'm wondering whether you could drill through the centre here to make a hole enough to make it a water feature, but to make it really personal. I wonder if we could put in some form of emblem or something that refers him back to the regiment.
What I would suggest is using a contrasting coloured granite, etch the emblems onto that, and then we can recess them into the top of the block, so you'll see them wet or dry.
I'll let you get on with it then.
Thanks very much.
When it's ready, the water feature will provide a focal point next to our nearly completed greenhouse. So, over the other side of the garden, I'm getting on with my contribution for Christine. Now, John told me that Christine's favourite flowers were dahlias and roses. We've got the dahlias in. Here are the roses. It's a couple of years to their golden wedding, so we've got this floribunda here called Golden Wedding. Floribundas produce masses and masses of flowers right the way through the summer, and that's the value of roses. It's colour right the way through the year, repeat flowering, the modern ones are, and exquisite scents. We've got one here which has about the best scent of all. It's called Margaret Merrill. And it's got this wonderful centre. It's white, but it goes this very, very pale pink. And this is about, the strongest scented floribunda I know. It's got a mixture of yellow and white roses here. And what I like to do with all roses, when you plant them now, is they're budded onto a rootstock down here. But if you set it in the hole a little bit lower than it's growing in the pot, just an inch or two, and then fill in, you can see the soil there is coming up the stem a little bit, and this encourages the base of those stems to root and make the plant that much stronger. And with these planted right the way through that bed, watered well in, then mulched with chip bark, they're going to flower right the way through the summer, and you won't need to prune them until the winter comes. Meanwhile, out front, it sounds like our souvenir of the South Atlantic has just arrived. That's sensational. Whoa. So this is your lump of Falklands rock?
It's great, isn't it? And I've got these emblems put in it, 3 emblems there.
DSC, Distinguished Service Cross.
Yeah.
That.
Regiment.
Royal Engineers.
And the unit.
Bomb disposal.
Plus a hole in the middle.
So this is the water feature.
That's it.
So how far has it come?
It's come 8,000 miles.
But you're 50 yards short.
I know.
It's got to go in there.
But don't worry, and it weighs about a quarter of a tonne, but I'm going to call in the reinforcements.
Fine. OK. When they heard that one of their own needed assistance, the Royal Engineers were more than happy to send reinforcements. Oh my goodness, the army's here.
There she goes, that's perfect.
No, it does.
Nice one.
Perfect. A little bit further forward.
That's it.
Nearly there, a bit more.
Hey!
Well done, guys. Royal Engineers, yes? Could you do a bit more engineering? It's because time's flying. Thank you very much.
No.
Being slightly smaller than their usual construction projects, a simple arbour should present no major challenge to these boys. So while they figure out which bit goes where, Francis and I are going to make our bit of the South Atlantic feel more at home. Around this lump of Falklands rock, we've got plants that are associated with the Falklands. This azalea, called antelope, was already growing in John's garden, and it's obviously named after the ship on which he had his accident, but it means an awful lot to him. It's a beautiful azalea with the most fabulous fragrance, but there's another appropriate thing about this as well. It flowers every year, or it's at least in flower, on the 23rd of May, which is the date that accident happened. You're planting something to do with Falklands as well. What's that?
Well, there are lots of sheep on the Falklands, so I thought some lamb's ears might be quite appropriate.
That really is thinking outside the box, isn't it? I love these though. These are burnet roses. Handy little thing. It will grow in the poorest of soils. It's got a lovely Latin name, Rosa spinosissima, which means it's got lots of little thorns all the way over it. So there's a little Falklands corner. With the arbour up in no time.
Well done, Patrick. Great job.
Thanks, guys. We're heading into the home straight now with our gardener's garden for John and Christine. Although the sky is darkening and with rain on the horizon, I've a good excuse to tinker in the greenhouse. If you ever think about having a greenhouse, don't think twice, get one. I made my first one when I was 10 out of old bits of wood and polythene and grew geraniums and spider plants and stuff. And I've been absolutely enamoured of them ever since. So while they're all cracking on out there, I'm going to potter. Excuse me a little while. I'm giving John a head start by putting in some tender plants that he can eventually add to the borders. The cannas here, these will need a bit of freedom from frost through the winter, as will the begonias that I've got in here. But of course in spring and summer, they're all perfectly happy. These succulents too, the aeoniums, they're frost tender. The callistemon, the Australian bottle brush, that can sometimes be got away with outside in the milder counties. OK guys, I can see on my greenhouse roof the rain is now falling. Please get on with the turf. Laying a lawn is usually fairly painless, but with all the curves created by our paths and patios, this one's proving to be rather fiddly. I've got a cut between the paving slabs here. Now the thing about this is, if you put a tiny little bit in there, it will move and disappear and get blown away and dry out. So use the end of a bigger one, because then it'll anchor it when I get to this end here. And I've got to feel through here for the edge of that paving slab. And what should happen now, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm in luck, is that I peel off that little piece there, and underneath you will discover that the turf I've left behind on both sides fits between the paving slabs beautifully and is joined on so it doesn't, when you walk over it, move anywhere other than where it's meant to be. The rain has largely held off, the lawn has been laid, and with our last few finishing touches, we're nearly there. A few days ago, this garden was a dreary, barren wasteland that promised nothing but back-breaking work. Now it's a bright and beautiful haven where John and Christine can make the most of their retirement together. Stepping out onto the patio, you're immersed in a soothing, quintessentially English scene, with bright, cheerful borders surrounding a soft green lawn. The eye is drawn by a gently sweeping path, leading to a central circular seating area large enough for the whole family, from where you can take in everything the garden has to offer. Their enthusiasm for gardening will be given free rein with this light and elegant greenhouse. A short trip past a hot-coloured border full of dahlias, alliums and poppies will bring them to this peaceful, sheltered spot where they can relax and enjoy the view, come rain or shine. For more information on how we built the garden, go to itv.com/Alan. We set out to create a garden that John and Christine could start enjoying right now. We like to think of it as a just reward for a very British hero. Don't peep yet, just stay. Not looking. And now I can say, open your eyes.
Oh! Wow! Wow!
Well,
Is it all right?
I said to myself, I'm not going to say wow, but wow. What a transformation.
Now, you said you loved roses, we found out from John. So we've got roses in here, but these are no ordinary roses. There's one called Golden Wedding, because I think you celebrate your Golden Wedding not too far ahead.
Not too far ahead.
Yeah. There is one thing which is rather special, which has been brought back for you from the Falklands by your old commanding officer.
Guy Lucas.
And it's had a little bit of doctoring, but this is a bit of Falklands rock.
Oh. Fantastic. Oh, jeepers. Good old Guy Lucas.
If you press a switch...
The water feature.
It makes a nice noise.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is tremendous. Well, I don't know what to say. To have something like this, it means a lot to have it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What do you think of this, then? Oh, it's cute. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From the Falklands.
Guy!
You're joking.
How
are you, friend?
Very good to see you.
God!
Oh, you started him off again.
Many years.
Oh,
Really good to see
come
you.
here.
To John and Christine and their garden.
John and Christine.
Cheers! I think it was after the First World War that the government talked about making a country fit for heroes to return to. I hope we've made a garden fit for a hero.